This is Nourish You, the podcast where we question the traditional model of dieting and nutrition and focus on choice, fun, and health for the whole mind and body. It's all on the table and it all counts. I'm Jana Mowrer, Nourish Your Dietitian, and your host. With episode 1, or episode 0, as they like to call it in the podcasting world, I'm going to be introducing myself, sharing a little bit more about my story, and also setting the intention. So this podcast is devoted to women and men alike to truly learn ways that nourish your body, grow your thoughts, and also inspire you to take action in caring for you. We will keep it short and sweet around here. So my goal is to keep these podcasts to less than 30 minutes. This is based off of a coaching philosophy that I have, that we can make our health win with 2% of our time or less per week. So that comes out to about 30 minutes a day. And so that's why I want to align with this coaching philosophy, is because there's so many different things that are pulling at your attention. And I want you to feel like this is something that is attainable and realistic to add into your routine that still provides you with benefit to enhancing your health and your well-being. So for this first episode, I want to, set the stage for those of you that have never, heard my voice, or for those of you that are not tuning in via the YouTube channel. I want to set the stage for you of what this looks like in my environment, because it tells a lot about just who I am as a person. So I'm in my office. I am sipping coffee, and, my 2 cats are around me. So I have 2 cats, Reese and Zen, and I am an animal person through and through. I love animals, dogs, cats. I grew up with horses as well. So animals are definitely part of this household. I'm also a huge fan of coffee and also of wine. So if you follow me on Facebook, you can also tune into my Wine Down Wednesday, where we just have conversations and we enjoy company, and we also take that time to invest in our health and our well-being. So for this first episode, again, I wanted to take this opportunity to introduce myself and to share a little bit about my background. So I am a registered dietitian. I also have my master's in public health, and I am a certified diabetes care and education specialist. I know, a mouthful. I never knew that I would have the alphabet after my name. And, it's just, I am an expert in this field, but more so I want to connect with you on the human level, because I think what's even more powerful is my own story as it relates to health and well-being, and trying to figure it all out. So yes, we can be experts, but that does not mean that we are also not humans. And so my journey in this space really started from my own struggle with health and well-being. So since I was a little girl, I've always struggled with weight. I was never the skinny one. I was always the little chubby one. And I always was really, really just very uncomfortable in my own skin. I had very low self-esteem. I never liked anything that I wore. I was started on my first diet with Weight Watchers when I was around 11, and have tried Atkins and Whole30 and every low carb diet that was out there. And it never seemed to work. I would always be able to lose weight, keep it off for a short amount of time, and then I would gain it back plus more. I felt out of control around food. I really, was disgusted with my body. I did not like it. I was not comfortable in it. And this is where I started, because in my senior year of high school, transition from senior year of high school to freshman year of college, I got really sick. I started having a lot of GI problems. I was in and out of doctor's offices, urgent cares, specialty visits, and no one could really figure out what was going on, to the point where my primary care physician was at the point where she was going to work me up for an eating disorder, because I had literally stopped eating. I was eating about 500 calories per day, because anything and everything that I consumed was hurting my stomach. And so I stopped eating because I didn't know what was going to, hurt my stomach next. And I couldn't eat, but I was losing weight, and I was getting compliments, and people were telling me that I was looking good. And I thought, I'm getting all these compliments on how I'm looking, but I feel horrible inside. I am the most unhealthy I've ever been, not only, mentally, emotionally, but also physically. But physically, it was showing that I was looking good or looking better. And so it really, really messed me up in the entirety of this process of how am I being complimented for looking better, but also at the same time being the most unhealthy I've ever been. So I was finally referred to a GI specialist, and he found out that I was severely lactose intolerant. And he said some of the most powerful words that have ever been shared with me on my journey. He said, Jana, this is a simple fix. You get to decide how you feel every single day based on the food that you put into your body. And I thought, wow. Wow, that's cool. I mean, I'm glad that they found a fix, right? This is good information. But on the other side, there was no additional education. There was no additional how-tos basically of really how to implement this into my lifestyle. And so this is where I believe in God moments. And you guys will hear me speak of, God and just spirituality as a whole, because I firmly believe that this is a spiritual journey more so than anything else to really taking care of ourselves and our health and our well-being. And so I believe that was a God moment because he knew I was a curious person and he knew that I like to find solutions. And so with my curiosity, I started doing research and I started studying what nutrition science actually was and what it meant to change your diet, what it meant to have a healthy diet. What did that actually mean? Because I did not grow up in a household that was the foundation. Both my parents worked, they had their own company. We were very active in sports. We were a very busy family and we would go through the drive-through often. We have so many McDonald's toys. It's unreal. We have that joke in our family. We had buckets of the McDonald's Happy Meal toys because that was how we, frequented. This was not the foundation. I was not born into this. This is not something that was intuitive to me in my nature. So I had to go through a whole relearning process to say, what does health and well-being actually mean? What does a healthy diet really mean? So through that research, I decided to, and also through changing my diet and starting to notice that I was feeling better, I came to the realization of, wow, if I'm able to make these changes and I am changing my diet and feeling better, I wonder how many more people don't feel good because of the food that they are consuming. And so that thought really is what catapulted me into changing my profession as a whole. I ended up changing majors. So I was a business management major and I ended up changing into pre-med and then eventually transferred to UC Davis where I got my bachelor's in clinical nutrition, then got my master's from Fresno State in health education and promotion, and then eventually became a certified diabetes educator. So I have really worked in all settings. I've worked in long-term care facilities. I've worked in acute hospitals. I've worked with bariatric patients, heart patients. I've worked in diabetes care clinics. And then now I have my own consulting company where I help empower individuals to really take care of their health and well-being through the avenue of nutrition. But I also talk about a lot of other things because I firmly believe there's a lot of other factors that impact our health and well-being than just what's on our plate. So I dive into sleep and stress management and physical activity. We talk about it as a whole. And this is something that I'm going to be sharing throughout this podcast of these realms of wellness and how they impact our overall health and well-being. So that's just a little bit about my background and my story. Now, there's many layers to my story. And as the years evolve, there continues to be different things that have happened to me to really continue my passion in this space. So I've shared this before, but for those of you that are new to tuning in, one of my main passion points, and it's based on a pain point, is I lost my father in 2013 from uncontrolled diabetes and morbid obesity. And that is something that has really transformed how I look at a lot of things, not only for my own health, but also for the health of other people. And because of my loss, I am so passionate to be able to connect with other people to prevent their own pain and loss as well. So I share this because it's more than just being an expert in this field. It is from our stories and our experiences that make us be able to connect on a deeper level. And that deeper level is what drives our passions. And it really connects to the why. Why does this even matter? Why does taking care of your health and your well-being even matter? So I always like to dive deep. I always like to connect at a much deeper level than that surface level that's oftentimes connected with health and well-being, so that we can have those real conversations and have that real connection. So that is what I commit to you guys that are tuning in, is to keep it real, to keep it honest as possible, and to really be vulnerable. So to be as vulnerable as I possibly can of not only my own story and the experiences that I've had, but also to be able to connect with you on your own journey so that you can share in this space. Because what I've also found is that so often we feel so shameful or so guilty when it comes to our health and well-being. And it really prevents us from being in action, because we're so in inaction because of the way that we're feeling. And so until we fully share that, we can't really do anything with it. And so I just want to open up this space for you to be able to connect with me at that vulnerable level and that meaningful level, because that is where I truly believe that transformation happens. So I'm so excited to be able to connect with you via this platform. And there's many other ways that you can stay in tune with me. You can follow me on Instagram, Your Non-Traditional Dietitian, or you can follow me on Facebook, either Jana Mowrer or Health Wins with Jana is my private Facebook group. Or you can connect and look at more information on my website, www.healthwins.org.